This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For car accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191. By Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers, where you can report crimes and get paid with nobody knowing your identity. Call 1-800-780-TIPS. By Solomon's Air Conditioning Incorporated. No matter what the weather condition is outside, have it your way inside. 239-693-1569. And by Lee Health.
All right, Southwest Florida, welcome back. I said early on, we're going to get a chance to talk to the experts. I like calling people experts. I'm so thrilled to get some experts in here. We have Brian Williams, the Chief Legal Counsel for the Lee County School District. He's an attorney. And we also get a chance to talk to Fredrick Ross, the Director of Procurement and Services for the Lee County School District. Gentlemen, welcome in. And have you pick up your cup and just bump me. And just put them right down there on the yellow part. There you go. You're good. Welcome to Lee Pitts Live.
Thank you.
I'm sure this won't be your last time here. Now, people are shocked already. They see you on screen. They shocked. They physically, when they see you, they get shocked. Now that they've gotten over the shock, I want people to know that you guys are in these positions that you're in life because of your brain, your intellect, and you happen to be African Americans, which is a beautiful thing. And a good thing. I don't really like saying happen to be, actually. I don't even like saying happen to be. It's just you're a human being. But anyway, I made my point. You are the legal counsel for the Lee County School District. What does that entail?
That pretty much entails being the legal representative to our superintendent, Dr. Atkins, and all of the senior leadership within the school district. So all of our chiefs, our executive directors, everyone on the school district side. The school board actually has their own separate attorney that provides them legal advice. So I provide legal advice to the school district as a whole.
You are the Chief Procurement Officer, Director of Procurement. I don't get that wrong. That means something in the school world.
Yes, it does.
Right, Chief and Director means something, right? Okay, so what does that entail?
Well, I manage the procurement department, and we handle all the procurement of goods and services for the district. Everything from the pens and paper used in the school to new construction projects.
Now, when you were listening to the conversation that just took place prior to the commercial break, I would assume that both of you were really engaged in what was being said, and was it anything new that on a national level, just in general, that we hear in various places as it relates to minorities and opportunities with large corporations, government projects?
Is there anything new? Nothing new. I think it's just the increased emphasis on looking at our supplier diversity programs, getting it implemented, looking at opportunities and how we better serve our community by making sure, that these minority vendors are participating in the process, and then their success in the process as well. Are they actually being awarded and winning some of these bids? So nothing new, but definitely just kind of another way of kind of looking at it and another way of attacking it with new emphasis.
Define procurement.
Procurement is the acquisition of goods and services. So, we all purchase things for our home. We purchase food for our home. We purchase supplies. The district and organizations do the same thing. They need to procure those services in order to operate.
Right, and then Sesame Street is for the general public. Mm-hmm. The fact that these procurement opportunities come from taxpayers' dollars brings a lot of strings with it in terms of fair opportunity. Correct. And so on and so forth, right?
Correct. Just
Sesame Street that a bit for me.
So there's state laws, federal laws and statutes in place that we must follow. There are also local government, our own board has policies that we must follow. And it's all to make sure that those taxpayer dollars are being spent effectively and efficiently, that things are competitive, that they're fair, that all members of the community have equal opportunity for those awards.
Now, counsel, there are people out there who actually monitor this, who watch this to make sure it's done right. And there are different companies out there too who have people who are watching it because they may lose out in an opportunity and they have a vengeance. Hey, we should have gotten it. So we can't go into all of that, but as an attorney, what are some key bullet points that are just pretty standard when you are looking at whether you're being fair or not?
Well, one of the things that you need to look at when determining whether you're being fair is identifying the actual availability of firms. So, when you're looking at a county such as Lee County, how many firms out there are actually minority owned that are available and have the capacity to do business with an agency? Whether those businesses are actually in compliance with, as Mr. Fredrick, Mr. Ross mentioned, the state laws, but also procurement policies as it relates to the agency. So you have, for example, to do construction, you need to be pre-qualified as a vendor, which means you have to have a certain bonding capacity. Construction projects for school sites use bonds. You have to qualify for those bonds. So you have to have a certain amount of economic resources available to you
wherewithal
to be able to do those. And again, a lot of people don't realize how many different hurdles there are to do business with a government agency. Then you have Jessica Lunsford, which is an act that requires a background check. Now, when you start background checking employees of companies as well as workforce, again, another step in the process to doing business with a public agency such as a school district. So, and then the other bullet point that I want to mention is just knowledge of the actual opportunities. How are those getting out? Are we doing outreach events where we're promoting those? A lot of people don't realize that contractors, those big, large general contractors, don't publicize all of their projects. They publicize them to those firms that are actually pre-qualified with them. So not only do you have to be pre-qualified with the school district, registered as a vendor with the school district, you also have to actually be pre-qualified with that contractor to get a notice of those opportunities.
Right. And they have certain people that they've been working with over the years, less labor intensive. They already got a working relationship and they can just move along smoothly. And then they have to interrupt what they're doing to make this gallant effort to get other people involved if they're not getting them involved. I want to see if I can recall from my banking days as a corporate lender, Davis-Bacon wage requirements. Go ahead and break that down. They got to meet those wage requirements. See, I'm dropping some knowledge on you, counselor.
That's impressive. And that's federal law. And Davis-Bacon, you're correct, is fair wages. And a lot of counties have fair wage labor laws as it relates to doing business with a county or municipal organization. Most of the time, you will not necessarily see that with a school district project unless it's federal funds involved. And then they do have to comply. That is required to be monitored. Companies are required to submit logs of the actual employees and the labor so that can be checked against the wages. And so things like that are excellent in terms of monitoring and compliance on projects. However, with your state funds, you don't see the same level of compliance unless the agency puts that in place. And there's ways to do that. Okay,
now let's go to you in procurement. Just from this small conversation, we'll have more later, you really have to have your ducks in a row. Okay. Now, there are some, as it relates to minorities or African Americans, who may be in the early stages, who don't have the accounting systems in place and all these types of things. Are there systems within your operation where you work with people to get them to be able to reach those benchmarks to do business with the school district?
Yes, definitely. So first we, bring them in and try to get an understanding of their goods and services they provide and where they're capable to provide those for the district. And if there are those gaps, and, we work with the different agencies. One agency we partner with is the Florida Gulf Coast Small Business Development Center. So we can refer them to get additional assistance in those type of accounting type areas and other functions. But if it's really specifically in terms of how to do business with the district, that's where we can kind of provide the most assistance. Those are the processes we know, and we can kind of reach out and help those vendors with, hey, here's how to submit for the district. Here's where to find the bids and find the contracts that are currently advertised. Here's the insurance requirements and the bonding capabilities that are required, and here's maybe a route to reach that meet that requirement. So yes, there are some things that we can't assist with in just their major functioning of their business, But when it comes to doing business with the district, yes, there's definitely some areas we can assist in.
Right. And I would think, too, that one of the challenges would be that there are so many corporations that do the same thing that are not unique. In my case, for example, I'm extremely unique. I'm one of a kind. I'm the only one that does it. There's not really anybody who do exactly what I do in the concept and the audience. And just you can be unique, and there's not as much comparing and contrast on how many people qualify. Give me an example of how you can. Do you come across any unique situation where this person, these people provide that one service that nobody else does? They have that one product.
Yes. There's plenty of kind of niche businesses that have that specific service for a specific need, and you really just kind of have to first get an understanding of what that need is and see where it fits within our organization, where that service or product may be needed. There's some products and services that we do not need, and we would communicate to that vendor and tell them where they may market their business better. But if it is a service that we could possibly need, and if it is a kind of a small niche, you kind of get a little closer to that department. For your example, it might be the communications department, and work with them a little bit more to find out, is there a specific area where that need could address.
In that past conversation, Counselor, that was a mention of auditors who will come in and I guess they will look at contracts on an annual basis and do some comparing. They're looking for ways that you didn't do business correctly. Is one of the things that they're looking at, as well as work with minorities or any type of groups like that? Is that a factor?
It's not a focus of an audit. However, it does appear in audit. So I know, for example, that was an inquiry with respect to our one of our last audits that I saw was an inquiry from the auditor. Typically, the companies that come in and do that kind of analysis would be your disparity consultants. And I know Dr. Atkins mentioned in his presentation earlier, a disparity consultant's going to come in. They're going to look at all of your contracts for a period of time, let's say 3 years, and they're going to look at how many vendors are in that county or what they consider your market area. And in our case, our market area could very well be Collier, Lee, and Charlotte, or even expansive into the other counties such as Glades and Henry. And so they look at that area and they see where the pool of available people that you do the most business with. Generally, it's a 75 to 80% of who you do business with or who you contract with determines your market area. So that could be those few counties, or it could be statewide. It just depends in terms of establishing your program. And then they see how many opportunities are coming out, and they compare that to how many vendors you're actually giving the opportunity for those contracts.
Final question for both of you. Do you bring to your job a certain sensitivity because of your race to historic roadblocks that have been put in place over long periods of time, including Jim Crow and discrimination and racism that has existed throughout society that may have impeded the opportunities for minorities to be in the loop?
Yes, most certainly. As a product of a family that had a black-owned business, a product of a HBCU, Howard University, yes, I'm definitely sensitive to what's going on in our community and how our history and our past has affected where we are specifically in terms of procurement and vendors being awarded government jobs. With that, I think I'm that seat at the table to help speak up and to help push these initiatives and push these priorities with the hopes of seeing more awarded and seeing a change.
I'm gonna stay with you on that, and
Okay.
the same question still coming to you. You at that table,
Yes, sir.
our superintendent, our school board, Lee County. You see a high level of consciousness in terms of getting things done.
Oh, yes, we do.
It's being discussed.
Yes, it's being
behind
discussed.
closed doors.
Behind closed
You bringing
doors.
that out in the public right now.
Bringing it out in the public right now. We have initiatives and priorities ready to go.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. We thanks for bringing that out in the open. Same question, Counselor.
Simple answer to that is yes.
Okay.
I think I've had a lot of experiences in my career. The last school district I worked for is a little bit bigger, Miami-Dade County, and in that role I was an attorney for the school district for 3 years, and then I ran the economic development department for the school district for three and a half years. And I was put in to that position by the superintendent there, when we passed a $1.2 billion bond. We were doing all construction on all of our schools, and the superintendent made that commitment to the community that we were going to have the business stay within the community. And so I was the attorney that actually drafted the small business policy for the school district. And as a result, it created what's called the Office of Economic Opportunity. And I was nudged into applying for that position and ultimately got it and ran that program for 3.5 years. So
Beautiful.
we created a program from scratch, I'll say, and I believe now they've got close to 1,000 businesses in that program.
But when you say Miami-Dade, I know right then that you had to be the powers that be over there, the community-based organizations, everybody else is going to make sure they're going to be screaming from the rafters. And I'm glad we got people like both of you over here. Of course, I'll be having some conversations with you off the air. We'll sit around and we'll drink some orange juice. Let me bump you out. No alcohol, people, no drugs, drug-free. But those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like these fine gentlemen who are doing it. We'll see you.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee Pitts, the host of the award-winning Lee Pitts Live here on Fox 4. We appreciate you watching our show here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, clicking below. Let everybody else know that they can subscribe as well. Also, when we're on the air on Fox 4, you can also catch us streaming live at 8:30 a.m. in the morning on fox4now.com. Just click on live and you get us all types of ways at your convenience. That's Lee Pitts Live.